Alright guys, Epic fucking Slayers here and welcome back to a brand new Division video. So the 1.8 PTS is currently playable on PC and we've learned about the new classified gear sets of Banshee, Predators and a lot more. We've learned about the 5 pieces and 6 pieces coming for these gear sets, but for me the one gear set that stands out is the 5 and 6 piece of the Banshee gear set, which looks absolutely crazy strong. And if you've seen the title of this video, this gear set, if it's not changed before 1.8 comes out, will be the Manhunt killer. So before we discuss the 5 and 6 piece bonuses on the new Banshee gear set, I think it's best that I go over the 2, 3 and 4 piece bonuses for anyone that's new or for anyone that hasn't really used Banshee before. So the 2 piece bonus, you get 20% Dark Zone currency gained. The 3 piece bonus, you get 10% damage to targets out of cover. And the 4 piece bonus is called Banshee. While Rogue, all ammo is completely refilled every 30 seconds. Damage taken from non-rogue players is reduced by 10%. While not rogue, damage to rogue players is increased by 10%. This bonus is increased to 20% for 10 minutes after being killed by a rogue. So as you can see, in the Dark Zone, Banshee is really strong against rogue players. It's actually strong for being rogue as well, because you get that 10% damage mitigation. But ultimately, if you're non-rogue and you're killed by a rogue, then you get 20% extra damage, which is a lot of extra damage, and I want you guys to take that into consideration when we discuss the 5 and 6 piece bonuses, which will blow you away. So now we know what 2, 3 and 4 talents give you for Banshee. Let's talk about the 5 and 6 piece classified talents that you're going to be getting on the classified gear, because this is really where Banshee shines in the Dark Zone, and it will become the Manhunt killer, definitely. So with the 5 piece, you're getting 20% looted DZ funds, just like you would get from the 3 piece, and you're also going to be getting 5% damage to targets out of cover. So, if you add that to the 3 piece, then that's 15% damage to targets out of cover. And then if you add that to the 4 piece, and you are killed by a rogue, then ultimately with that, you're going to be getting 35% damage to targets. So basically, you're going to be getting 20% from the 4 piece, you're going to be getting 10% from the 3 piece, and then 5% from the 5 piece. That's 35% extra damage to rogue players. Now let's move on to the 6 piece. Now we know what 2, 3 and 4 piece talents do, let's move on to the 5 and 6 piece talents, which is really what makes this gear set the Manhunt killer. So with the 5 piece, we're getting 20% looted DZ funds plus 5% damage to targets out of cover. So if you remember a little while ago back in the video, I did mention that with the 3 piece we get 10% damage to targets out of cover, but with the 5 piece we get an extra 5%, so overall 15% damage to targets out of cover. Now, in between that, we got the 4 piece where if you're killed by a rogue player, you get 20% damage to those rogue players. So overall, you're getting 35% damage to that player. That's quite a lot of damage. Now, moving on to the 6 piece set bonus, of which is called Improved Banshee. While rogue, the time to clear Manhunt status is decreased by 5% for every group member within 10 meters. All rogue status actions that result in a rank up are doubled. Rewards for clearing Manhunt status are improved. So if you didn't know, in 1.8, when you go Manhunt, you will no longer have a timer, but instead you will have a place or an extraction area you need to go to, and you'll basically have to remove your status from there. Now, non-rogue players will also know where this area is, from what I can tell, so you've got to head over there, survive, and remove that status. So with the 6 piece, what will basically happen is if you have 4 group members, and they're within 10 meters of you, you will decrease that time to remove that status by 20%, because it's 5% for every group member within 10 meters. So, not too bad really. Now, for non-rogue players, while not rogue, damage to Manhunt status players is increased by 5% for each Manhunt level the player has. Rewards for killing a Manhunt player is improved. So, in 1.8, you will now have Manhunt tiers, and it can go up to Manhunt tier 5. So with this piece, if you're a non-rogue player, you're running 6 piece Banshee, then with this particular set bonus, the 6 piece, you're going to be doing 5% extra damage for every Manhunt tier you are chasing. So if they're Manhunt tier 5, the maximum 25% extra damage to that Manhunt group. Now that's not inclusive of the 5 piece, the 4 piece and the 3 piece talents that you get. So let's work it out. From the 3 piece, we get 10% damage to targets out of cover. From the 4 piece, if you are killed by a rogue player, then you are going to be getting 20% extra damage. From the 5 piece, you're getting 5% extra damage to targets out of cover. And then from the 6 piece, as a non-rogue player, you're getting 25% extra damage to a tier 5 Manhunt. Overall, 60% extra damage to a tier 5 Manhunt group if they have killed you before. If they've not killed you, it will be 50%, which is still absolutely crazy in my opinion. Now, do I think this gear set is overpowered? It's hard to say really, because the PTS has only been out for 1 day, and unfortunately I say unfortunately, but at the moment there is some classified gear sets out there, Nomad, which really does increase your survivability to the point where I don't even think this 6-piece Banshee in a good team is going to help you destroy a group of Manhunt players running, say, Nomad and Reclaimer, which will be for another video. With that said, 60% damage to a Manhunt team is crazy. If it's a good team versus a good team, then the good team who are not rogue will probably win. If it's a bad team versus good team, then it's not going to make any difference, because it doesn't matter how much damage you give that person, really. A good team will always win if they're organised. Now, I don't know what to say about this. I'm always been a fan of killing rogue players, but I also like going rogue myself. I don't think it's fair that you should be able to do 60% damage to a group of Manhunt team, although I do agree that it should be very difficult as a tier 5 Manhunt group to extract. I don't actually think it's going to be difficult even with this in the game in 1.8, as I said before, due to Nomad and Reclaimer, but we'll have to see. So there you go, guys. That's really the end of the video. I just wanted to go over the Banshee 6-piece because I really think it's, at the moment on paper, it looks too strong. With that said, there hasn't been enough testing yet, so we'll have to see. I will be going over the patch notes for the PTS when they are fully out and they have been, confirmed, but that won't be yet. Thanks for all your support, and until next time, peace.